Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm in the studio. We're live, so you know now. You know what that means. It means get involved in the comments and the chat and let us know what you think about the latest Manchester United stories. And if you've even got any yourself, if you're ITK, then let us know. If you've seen, Frenkie De Jong down your local Sainsbury's in, I don't know, Moston, then give us a shout. We've even got a Sainsbury's in Moston, I'm not so sure. Someone can fill me in on that one. We've got a few stories to get through, talking about a youngster who's on the scene, a French youngster, not a French youngster, a youngster from the French league, I think, who's on the scene, who's being chased by United and a few other clubs as well. So we'll be talking about him. We'll also be talking about Frenkie De Jong, as you may have seen from the thumbnail. It looks like that mob down the road are trying to get in on our Frenkie De Jong act, if you can even call it our act as well. Also, a story doing the rounds on ESPN about Hannibal Mejbri and it upsetting Ralph Ragnick. So we'll get into that one as well. And there's an update in terms of our defenders who are leaving. There's a couple of defenders who are going to be leaving Manchester United. I don't think it's going to be much of a surprise, but although there's one of them and there's another one I'll mention as well. So we'll get into all that. So do get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think about that. As always, Jockey a Trot says, morning, Jay. Morning to you as well. Santanot says, Guten Morgan. Santa says Ron Dawson trustworthy. It's Rob for starters, Santa, and we'll get into that anyway. We can have a look and you can make your own minds up on whether you think Rob Dawson is trustworthy. I don't have a problem with Rob Dawson, to be honest with you. He's not on my list of people I don't trust. I wouldn't say he's tier one or anything like that, but I don't know. You can make your own minds up. Right, let's get into the first one. Eric Bailly. There's a story doing the rounds about Man United outcast. Eh? I'm sorry, Miss Jackson and all that. Is that outcast? Is it Sorry Miss Jackson outcast? Yeah. Is it? Thank you. Producer Callum's looking at me like I've got two heads there. He's less clued up than I am, and that's saying something. But Lewis off in the other room just shouted yes, so I trust him, even if he does wear Crocs. Man United outcast Eric Bailly could make Premier League stay as Newcastle contact defender. United, it says here, Man United defender could remain in the Premier League next season amid interest from Newcastle United. The Magpies are one of 4 European clubs to have contacted United about a potential summer move for the once-away star. Now, this has come from Jonathan Schrager, a friend of the channel. We've had him on, so it's I think it's in the Express, but it's the Express quoting Jonathan Schrager, who's basically saying that it looks like Eric Bailly is being coveted by a few clubs who want his services. Doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you, because Eric Bailly, he is a good player. He's just injury prone. That's the problem. He's let me just pull up his record, his appearance record here, because you remember a couple of seasons ago, it was not this season before. He had that little run, didn't he, where he played like 5 or 6 games, and we were winning all these games, and he was fantastic, wasn't he? Remember everyone was giving him a hug, I think after the Villa game, was it? The Villa or the Wolves game, I always get mixed up. And I remember thinking, if he can stay fit, he could help us, put in a proper title challenge at the end of the season. And I'm looking at his stats here. I mean, it's actually woeful, his appearance record for Manchester United. Really bad. 25 appearances in his first season in the Premier League, 38 in all comps. Okay, solid. 13 Premier League appearances next season, 18 in all comps. Pretty woeful. 12 Premier League appearances the following season, just terrible. 4 in 2019-20. I mean, that's practically useless. 12 in 2021. Again, not much there, is there? I know I spoke about him playing well in some of those games, but you can't really bank on a player who plays 12 games a season for a year in the Premier League. And 4 so far this season, 7 in all comps. Yeah, some of it might be getting dropped just because of form or because of, you're not the preferred choice. But a lot of it is injuries. There is a lot of injuries in there. I've seen Eric Bailly, hobbling off a few times. And I like Eric Bailly. He is a likeable player. He's someone who's, he is sort of exciting. He can be excellent, both in the tackling and on the ball. He's a little bit, what's the right PC correct word that I'm looking for? Off his rocker, I think is the correct terminology. Yeah, he can fly into things, he can do tricks, he can do all things, clearing it with his back, trying overhead kicks, all that sort of stuff. If you've not seen that account out of context, Eric Bailly, it's very, very funny. But you just can't rely on a player that doesn't play most games, especially not as a centre-back. It's all right if you're a striker playing sort of, coming in sort of for 15, 20 games a season, as a sort of impact sub or whatever. But as a centre-back, you need someone who can play week in, week out. And Eric Bailly just isn't that guy. Doesn't surprise me Newcastle are in for him. I think it's the big if you can keep him fit, you've got a player there. It's just keeping him fit, innit? Darren McKenna says, what's the chances, Jay, that Haaland goes to City and becomes like Torres at Chelsea, UTFP? Thank you, brother. Yeah, I don't know about Haaland at City. I'm a bit worried. I think that he could go there and absolutely smash it. And I think it's going to make them even better and even further away from where we are and give Erik ten Hag an even bigger headache to solve, bigger problem to solve when he arrives. Joe on the channel's always said that he thinks Erling Haaland's injury record could go against him. He's missed a lot of games, and he says he doesn't know if that's gonna be that. So he thinks that could be a problem. I don't know. Is the only honest answer. I personally think Erling Haaland going to City scores a lot of goals. Probably gets him eventually over the line in the Champions League, but it's not set in stone, is it? It's not. I mean, just because you spend loads of money doesn't guarantee you Champions League win. He has got a good record in Europe. He has got a good record in the Bundesliga. The only sort of big question mark around him, if you can call it that, is his injury record. Hypermanic says, morning Jay, Haaland will score goals wherever he goes, in my opinion. Yep, I agree. Christian Marshall says, Mbappe re-signed could affect City getting Haaland. Yep. It did look like Haaland and Real Madrid was off the table. Now it looks like, I think it's Mbappe signed a new deal, or he's going to sign a new deal. It's been offered like, is it something like 50 million a year or something net? Something stupid. Or it might be gross, I don't know. So it looks like he's going to sign a new deal. So does that mean Real Madrid then go, listen, we need to get Erling Haaland because we're not going to get Kylian Mbappe? Who knows? Let us know in the comments what you think. James Wood says, Jay, get Welbeck back as a backup to CR7. I'm not even joking. I'd love it if he came back to the club. Do you remember when we got Odi Nagalo? I would have loved it if that had been Danny Welbeck, but it didn't happen. Always a good question. Hypermanic says, can we still laugh at City? Yes. Get it in now while you can before they win something. Jamie White says, Jay, do you think we'll get Nunes? And if so, do you think he'll be a success? Good question. I think if we get him, if I can answer it the wrong way around, if we get him, he'll be a success. I'm not sure we will get him. I think he's going to have a lot of suitors. He would be a good signing for me. Scores loads of goals, relatively young. And I don't think he'd be astronomical money. He's not Harry Kane type money or Declan Rice type money. I know he's a different position to Declan Rice. I just don't know if it happens. But let us know in the comments whether you think we will. Right, should we move on to Hugo Ekitike? Is that right? Ekitike. Am I getting that right, or am I just pronouncing that wrong? We've just been listening to Abba Chiquitita in the studio to try and get myself in the mood for it. You know, maybe there's a chant there somewhere. If he joins us, I'll let better meet people than I decide that one. Says here, Manchester United have launched an inquiry. Launched an inquiry? Does it sound like some sort of government investigation? We've launched an inquiry into whether you did drink beer or you did have a party, a birthday party at Downing Street. Yeah, we've launched an inquiry over Reims star Hugo. It says here, Hugo Ekitike. This is what the Express is saying. Is he called Hugo twice? Or they just made a mistake? The 19-year-old has been in fine form this season, scoring 9 goals in 22 appearances. But but Arsenal and Newcastle everywhere, aren't they? Are also keen, while the teenager has attracted interest from Bayern Munich as well. So he's obviously, a popular guy. 22, is it? Did I say there? Oh, no, I said he's 19, sorry. He's played 22 times. 19 years old, very young, scoring goals in the French league. He's got 2 caps for the French under-20s team. And if you care, he's born in France and he's of Cameroonian descent, according to his Wikipedia page that I've just had a quick search on. He can file under possibly. I don't think, it's not one of those where you go, that's definitely going to happen or it's definitely not. It does sound like, the type of player it's worth taking a punt on if you can get him for a decent price. If you're not paying sort of 70, 80 million for him, if you can get him for, I don't know, 30 or 40, then maybe, maybe it's worth that little punt, and maybe 40 is a bit much. Maybe get him for 30 million or something like that. It's worth it. But I don't know, I feel like United, remember when under Ollie, we bought Facundo Palestra and bought Amad Diallo? And those are good, those could be good signings, I should say. I get buying young players who've got a bright future ahead of them. But it felt like we bought them at the expense of others. And you look at it, and we needed a holding midfielder and went out and spent basically 50 million quid on those 2. Now, again, in 10 years' time, we might be talking about them as being 2 of the best players we've ever had. But it did seem like a risk not worth taking at the time when we needed a holding midfielder. We didn't get one. And Ollie ends up getting sacked eventually. And I think that transfer window is one where you look back and you go, had we spent that money elsewhere, it could have been better served. Maybe with Ekitike, that is the case. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe you can get him for a price where you can get him and still get the other players you need to get. There's lots of ifs and buts and maybes there. If anyone knows much about him, please let me know in the comments, because I don't know a lot. Terry Funk says, Alexander Mitrovic, what you reckon? He's absolutely just can't stop scoring in the Championship, can he, Mitrovic? It's unreal. His record is just ridiculous. Yet when he comes into the Premier League, I'm just going to have a look here now. It doesn't seem like he's anywhere near the player he's in the Championship. He seems to be one of those. Saying that, but maybe being harsh. He scored 11 not long ago in the Premier League. But if you look at his record, here we go. I'll just go through this now. So we'll just stick to the last sort of 5 seasons at Fulham. Championship, 17 games, 12 goals. Then next season, Premier League, 37 games, 11 goals. Okay, not bad. Championship, 40 games, 26 goals. Next season, Premier League, 27 games, 3 goals. And this season, 43 games in the Championship, 43 goals. And he could very well come into Premier League next season and score 5 goals or something, which is, for a player who just scored 43, it's just ridiculous. He's only 27 as well. I thought he was older than that. As a backup, yeah, maybe. As a main striker, I'm not so sure. I don't know if he's good enough for where Manchester United want to be. Let us know what you think about that one. Should we move on to Frenkie De Jong? So, this is not what we want to hear. This is literally the last thing we wanted to happen. Yeah, there's a story doing the rounds that basically Manchester City are eyeing a move for Barcelona star Frenkie De Jong as Pep Guardiola looks to add a midfielder to his squad for next season, along with Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez. Excuse me. So it says there they want to bring a midfielder in on their transfer wish list. I saw somewhere else that because of oil prices going up, that City are going to have a massive war chest because their owners have obviously got make money from oil. So that's going to have a knock-on effect and give them more money to spend. I don't know how true that is. It's just a report I'm seeing. Regardless, City are going to spend money this summer. If they don't win the Champions League, they're looking to go, we need to spend more money. They always look at it that way. I don't agree. I don't think they lost the Champions League final last season because they didn't spend enough money. I think they lost the Champions League final last season because Pep Guardiola got his tactics completely wrong. I think they went out against Spurs a few seasons ago because he got his tactics wrong. Lyon, same thing. Liverpool a few years ago, same thing. Monaco, same thing. I think you can keep going, it's just, we need more money. We need to spend more money. Because you can't fault Pep. You can't question him. Of course you can. Of course you can question him. If you look at some of these games, you've got, the other night, and this, I don't want to make this all about City, but it's relevant because we're talking about him in terms of this transfer with Frenkie De Jong. The other night, 5 minutes to go, two goals up. Shut up shop. Do you know what I mean? Keep it tight, do whatever you've got to do to just see the game out. And they didn't. And you've got to look at the manager, but City fans don't like criticising Pep, do they? And I get it because he's won loads of trophies, but I used to criticise Alex Ferguson. He's the greatest manager I've ever seen in my life. But I'd still say, question certain things that I thought they were wrong. I remember saying about the 2011 Champions League final, I couldn't believe Berbatov wasn't in the squad. 2009, I couldn't believe Tevez didn't start. Doesn't mean I don't rate Fergie or think I know more than him. I just remember thinking that's a bit of a strange one to me. Yeah, City fans or whatever, reluctant to criticise Pep Guardiola, and they seem to think, and the club seems to think it's all about just backing him more. I mean, he's been the most backed manager, I think, in football history. It's not about just spending more money, is it? Sometimes it's about just getting your tactics right. Toby Gosling says, I would take Mitrovic as a backup to Ronnie. Terry Funk says, why don't City F off home? Yep. James Woods. I wonder if that's James Woods, the actor, from El Salvador fame. Was it no, not El Salvador. Salvador, what else was he in? Any Given Sunday. John Q. Yeah, I'm rambling. Forgive me. Yeah, he says, De Jong would be class with Bruno and Tuchemani. I love Tuchemani at the club. I don't know if we're going to get him. One final story here, doing the rounds. And if you're not doing, hit the like button, which many of you aren't doing. Please hit that like button. Let's get to 200 likes. Come on, if you're watching now, hit the like. James Wood says, haha, the amount of times I've had that, Jay. Yeah, you're much too happy to be James Wood. He's quite moody getting it from what I've seen on Twitter. I think he got banned for it. Yeah, hit that like button, and if you're not doing it, subscribe to the channel. Let's get 200 likes. Now, this is an interesting one. This was, and I've just lost it, which is very helpful, about Hannibal Mejbri and Ralph Ragnick. It says Mejbri reprimanded. I thought it said remanded. I was like, what? Ralph Ragnick apparently was not happy with Hannibal Mejbri when he came on against Liverpool, because you saw he came on, didn't he? And he just ran around like a bit of a lunatic, kicking everyone, and I loved it. More power to you. But apparently the United boss was not impressed with it, and he got reprimanded, and he was told he was basically demoted back down to the under-23s. It says... this is a story doing the rounds. I think this is started from Rob Dawson, or Ron Dawson, as Santa Notch called him, saying that basically, yeah, while a lot of United fans were buzzing about it, and obviously Gary Neville was praising it. It went down a lot well with a lot of us because we had nothing to cheer about. Ralph Rangnick was far from impressed. He said, it goes on to say, former United captain Neville said he was proud of Hannibal for making his presence felt on an otherwise humiliating night for United, but Rangnick did not share his view. Sources told ESPN that Hannibal was reprimanded by Rangnick for a reckless and erratic performance and punished the Tunisia international with a return to the under-23 team. And then goes on to say Hannibal has been omitted from the matchday squad since the defeat to Liverpool, with youngsters Garnacho and Alvaro Fernandez named on the bench for the 3-0 win over Brentford on Monday. So it looks like Ralph was not as impressed with that one as Manchester United fans were. I thought it was just good. Do you know, I thought it was. Come on. Kick a few people and then, get booked and go. Finish, because the game was done, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? So I didn't have a problem with it. Sim doesn't agree. Says the petulance needs stamping out. You can give your all, but in the right way. I don't know. Come on. Do you know what I mean? We weren't going to win the game, were we? And at least he was showing a bit of fight. Where else was that coming from? It's embarrassing. We've got to rely on an 18-year-old to come on and show some of these players how to, give a toss. Zachary Purvis says, Zach, if Medjugorje story is real, I have an issue with that. Kids seem to be the only person who cared. So will he be gone soon now to shake my head up the paddock, up the RH? Yes, I don't think he'll be gone. Ralph Rangnick's going anyway. Even if he fell out with him, he's not. I don't think he'd get rid of him. And I don't think we would let Hannibal Medjugorje leave this summer. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But, yeah, obviously not gone down to... Well, Duncan Edwards says Medjugorje reminds me of Joe Jordan. I was a bit too young for Joe Jordan, but I know his reputation. Terry Funk says, Jay, serious question. What do you make of the Jesse Lingard situation? Do you reckon he's one of the corner boys in the dressing room or what? Very weird how they never even gave him a send-off. I just think that maybe he was unavailable for a few games, wasn't he? And maybe Ralph Rangnick's been unimpressed with that. It's just all gone sour with Jesse Lingard. It's sad to see. I like Jesse Lingard. Scored some important goals for us, but it's all gone wrong, hasn't it? And he's going to leave in the summer. There's nothing we can do about that, and it's probably best for all concerned if he does leave, to be honest with you. It's just a bit silly that we didn't let him go in January and get some money for him, or even last summer, because he hasn't really done anything this season, has he? So what was the point in keeping him? It's not made him any happier, and it's not made Manchester United any better. Anyway, we'll leave it there. We've got the brew later on, so make sure you're checking that out. If you've not done so already, give us a subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be going live and keeping you updated anytime there's any breaking news in Manchester United. And we've also got loads of good content, your podcasts, your previews, your watch-alongs, your post-match reaction, your interviews, all that good stuff as well. So make sure you are checking out Stretford Paddock for all the latest Manchester United news and updates. I've been Jay Motty. This has been the Paper Talk live from the studio. Thanks for watching.